Over the past week, I downloaded data for over 3,000 Amazon influencer videos. I personally went through a few hundred of those and watched them myself just so I could do a deep dive. In my previous video, I did predictions. In this video, we are going to go over the actual data, show you the exact results. And the first thing we are going to see is, does the video length have any impact on the rank 1, 2, 3, or 5 for the upper video carousel? So I do have average duration and I have average helpful votes. We'll kind of ignore the helpful votes. Let me put my head here. And sorry, this is hard to see, but we've got for the rank, so the top spot where everyone wants to be, the average length over the 3,000 videos I analyzed was about 3 minutes and 17 seconds. And then you can see from rank 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, just how significant. Now, I would say 3, 4, and 5, and maybe even 2, there's not a huge difference between the lower videos, but there is a huge, significant difference with the number one video. Now, what does this mean? Does this mean, oh, if I make a longer video, it's going to have a higher chance of getting the number one spot? Well, it could. It could also mean that really good videos that are in the number one spot, they just tend to be longer because they have more information. It's kind of a question of correlation versus causation. But for me, the biggest takeaway here is the videos that are doing well are longer videos. So if you want to have success, think about whatever you're doing with your videos. Are you adding enough information, or are you cutting it off short because you want it to be so concise? Honestly, before going through this, I thought kind of 3, 4, and 5 would be all about the same, but it's very interesting to me just what kind of drop off it is. I think this is really indication that most people's videos need to be longer, either because they need to be higher quality or they just need to add more information. And I do want to talk a little bit about something I've noticed in the past couple months, which is I've uploaded some videos where there's already 5 videos on the upper carousel, and my video has automatically gone from not being published to being published in the number one spot, which I find very kind of weird and interesting. But every time this has happened, I've looked at the duration of the other videos and mine is always longer. So I do think there might be some truth to saying that Amazon puts a preference on videos that are longer, maybe just because it assumes the video is better. I don't know, but I definitely find this to be some interesting information. The next thing I want to talk about is helpful votes. I don't want to talk too much about this because I think helpful votes are more of an indication of how long a video has been up for or been in the top spot in the upper carousel. And I do want to point out that this helpful votes, this is not total helpful votes, but it's helpful votes per 50 days it's been published. So if you have a video that's been up for 50 days and it has 1 helpful vote versus a video that's been up for 300 days and it has 2 helpful votes, the video that's been up for 50 days, it will show a higher number because it's the average for 50 days. But if we look at the numbers, it's the same as the graph that we saw before, which is just saying if it's in the number one spot, it's getting more helpful votes. Now, again, correlation or causation. Are people clicking that helpful vote icon because it's just so good and that helps boost it up to the number one spot? Or is the video already in the number one spot so people see it more so they click on the helpful vote? It's hard to say, but I did find this to be somewhat interesting. But the next thing I want to go over and spend a bit more time on is price category. So I've got 0 to 35. This is dollars. So for products that are in the $0 to $35 price range, how does the rank stack up? So, and we can see that this is the duration of the video. So even in the lower price range, longer videos are still performing better than shorter videos. But we're talking about maybe a minute difference within this smaller price range. If we go up in the price range a bit, we start to see some interesting things. So we're in the $35 to $70 range. The number one spot, still much longer videos. This is more than double the lowest spot at this point. So this is really where people are distinguishing themselves from high quality videos to low quality. And again, this is just my opinion, but based on the time of the video, if we're in this price range, you really want to be making higher quality videos, longer videos. The interesting thing here is the rank 4 and 5 spot. These are kind of swapped. So this almost leads me to think that maybe Amazon really doesn't care too much about rank 4 and 5. This is probably the spots that get swapped out the most frequently. If we go even higher to the $70 to the $105 range, and again, number 1 spot, the videos are much longer. So we got 5 minutes compared to 2 minutes. So rank 1 and 2, we've got the really long videos. 3, 4, and 5, we've got the shorter videos. I tell you what, Amazon's really pushing out these longer videos in the higher carousel spots. And for things $105 to $150, we don't see as big a difference. I suspect this might be because in this range, we're not seeing as many videos, so there's not as much disparity. And then if we look at anything in the $150 range and above, kind of the same trend that we've been seeing all along with video duration. The longer the video is, the higher up it's going to rank in the video carousel. Now take that for what it's worth. In my mind, Amazon really does seem to be promoting longer videos. And in my opinion, these longer videos are not just for the sake of being longer. It's because these are more high quality videos that are providing more and better, more useful information. And this is a chart for how long the video has been posted to Amazon. I was actually a little bit surprised by this. I thought maybe there would be a bit more disparity, but we still see the common trend where the highest ranked videos, they have been uploaded to Amazon for a longer time. And what I believe that means is just that some of these other videos, they're getting swapped out and replaced with some of these newer videos. And that's why the averages are a bit lower. Doesn't seem super significant. We're talking about a 50-day average from the lowest to the highest. But I will say, after going over several videos, there are certainly some big outliers where there have been videos that have been in the top spot for probably several years. And in fact, I know that's the case because one of my videos meets that criteria. But I think the big takeaway here is if you can get a video, make it super high quality, get it in the top spot, you have a really good chance of keeping it in that top spot without getting swapped out with some of these other videos. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is with titles. And I have some great information with titles because there are some titles that drive me bonkers. And now I have evidence that suggests that these sort of titles are hurting you, not helping you. Let me go ahead and take away my face so you can see everything, but let me explain this to you. So we've got high ranked up here in blue. We've got rank 5 or the low ranked here in red. So this kind of tells you the keywords that you see more often in the high ranked things. So things like best, what is the best, or no, what you should know about this, or buying guide, or before you buy this. Those sort of keywords tend to show up a lot more in the top 5 ranking. So what is showing up here in the bottom ranking? This makes me so happy. The number 1 by far is honest. You don't need your title to say honest review. That's the sort of title that shows up consistently as the bottom. That's the sort of title where if you want to show up in the upper carousel and get swapped out almost immediately, that is the title you should use, is honest review. But other things like easy or great or quality or love, these are all opinion-based keywords that we see here. Just like, oh, I think this is great. Oh, I love this. Oh, this is better than anything I've used. Whereas in the number 1 spot, the keywords tend to be more related to information, what you should know. I guess best is also opinion-based, so forget that. But let's look at this further in phrases. So again, we've got rank 1 up on top, rank 5. So some of the phrases that tend to show up more in the top 5 or the upper ranking is like buying this, before buying this, perfect for, to know before, must have, some of those things. And then if we look at the bottom ranking, my honest review, that is the phrase you should stop using right now. Just get rid of the word honest. There's not a lot of people who are posting my dishonest honest review. I bet if you did, you would get a lot more views if you said, this is my dishonest review. You could try it, let me know, but honest review is not working. So the takeaways from this video, basically longer videos are doing well. If your videos aren't doing great and you don't know what to try making a longer video. That's one thing you can do. This is not opinion based. This is just based off the actual stats for each video. The other thing is with titles, just stop saying honest review, please. Can we all agree on that? In my next video, I'm actually going to go over the things that I viewed specifically in the videos. I marked things down, I gave things a ranking, and this is where things get really good. And this is where the actual information is for really easy tweaks that you can do to your video that's going to make a big difference almost immediately.